This is kind of like a proud mom moment for me. My student Cece is now making videos on YouTube. She started practicing with me about 4.5 years ago during Yoga Fix 90, and then she came and took my teacher training about 2.5 years ago. And now the next video is Cece. If you like longer classes with challenging poses, make sure to go to Yoga Dose and subscribe. Here's Cece.
Hi Fightmaster Yogis, my name's Cece and my channel Yoga Dose is all about longer classes and challenging poses to help strengthen your practice. This is a super fun flow that is really going to help you build your strength and revitalize your energy and your practice. Have a Rocket Yoga inspired flow for you. Rocket Yoga was created by Larry Schultz, and it's basically a series of postures made up from the first 3 series of Ashtanga Yoga. So just begin standing in Tadasana, and if you'd like, bring your hands into your heart and create an intention for your practice. All intentions are always welcome, and just begin to connect to your breathing. Breathing in and out through the nose, beginning your Ujjayi Pranayama breath. Lower your hands down to your sides, and you're standing with your big toes together, your heels slightly apart so the outer edges of your feet are parallel, and you're pressing down actively through all 4 corners of your feet, through the big toe, the little toe, and the inside and outside of the heels. Raise your arms up overhead and gently fold forward, keeping a bend in the knees if you'd like. Inhale, come halfway up with length in your spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into plank pose. You can lower onto the knees if you'd like, and gently lower all the way down to your stomach. Bring your wrists under your elbows and lift up into a gentle cobra, gently warming up the spine here. Tuck your toes if you'd like and lift into a full upward facing dog, and then press back into your first downward facing dog. You can bend your knees here if you'd like, warming up the hamstrings, pedal out through your heels. Actively press down through your hands, drawing your navel in and up. Turn your gaze forward and either hop or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold forward, and inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead, and exhale, Samasthiti. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, plant your hands, jump back in Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to take a few more Surya Namaskar A's here to really warm up the body. Traditionally, you want to move 1 breath per movement, but if you need to add an extra breath here or there, feel free to do so. Look forward and either hop or step to the top of your mat. Come halfway up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. And inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. Exhale, Samasthiti. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward into Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step or jump, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. And exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Connect to your breath here. Make sure your inhales are just about as long as your exhales, breathing steady. Look forward, hop or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. And inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. Exhale, Samasthiti. Again, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant hands, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, upward facing dog, and exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Connect back to your breath. Look forward. Hop or step to the top of your mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way to the top of your mat, arms overhead. Exhale, Samastitihi. And again, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. You should feel yourself starting to get warm here, building heat in the body. Actively pressing down through your hands and look forward. Hop or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise arms overhead, and exhale, Samastitihi. Moving to Surya Namaskar B, take Utkatasana chair pose, bending the knees. Fold forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Move into Chaturanga, making sure that the shoulders don't go any lower than the elbows. Move into upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward into Warrior One. Plant the hands, step back, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, down dog. Step the left foot in between your hands, Warrior One. Exhale, bring the hands to the mat, step back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, and exhale, downward facing. Again, traditionally, it's one breath per movement, so it does move pretty quickly. But always feel free to take more breaths. Connect back to steady breathing here in downward facing dog. Gaze forward, hop or step to the top of your mat. Look forward and fold all the way forward, Uttanasana. Bend your knees, coming into Utkatasana, and stand all the way up, Samastitihi. Bend your knees again into Utkatasana, fold all the way forward. Inhale, come halfway up, lower down, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Step the right foot in between the hands, Warrior One. Exhale, hands to the mat, move through Chaturanga. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Step the left foot in between the hands, Warrior One. Bring the hands down to the mat. Lower down, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Draw your navel in and up here. Keep your hips actively pressing up toward the ceiling, creating length in your spine. Look forward, hop or step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale into Utkatasana and exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, back into chair pose. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot in between the hands, Warrior One. Bring your hands to your mat, Chaturanga. Inhale, exhale. Left foot in between the hands, Warrior One. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Connect back to your steady breath. If you need to, drop to your knees and take child's pose. A few more breaths here. Gaze forward, hop or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale into chair pose. And exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale into chair pose, Utkatasana, this time holding here. Make sure that the weight is mostly in the heels of your feet. Your spine is long, your arms extending actively up by your ears. Now lower into Ardha Utkatasana. Come halfway down, your stomach just above your thighs. Actively draw your stomach in and up, engage the muscles of the pelvic floor. Arms extended forward. And plant your hands, moving into Bakasana here. So bring your knees either to the outer edge of your arms or up into your armpits. Try to straighten through the arms, lots of strength here, and lifting the belly in and up, holding here. And if you'd like, shoot back into Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple more breaths in your downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up, bring it in and step it in between your hands, lowering onto the back left knee. You can keep your hands on the floor or bring them onto your right knee, making sure your knee is directly over your ankle. Getting that nice stretch through the left hip flexor. Drop your right hand to the side of your mat and take the left hand overhead, taking a stretch through the side body. This is really going to stretch deep inside the abdomen to the psoas muscle. Bring your hands back to your mat on the inside of your right foot and lower down into lizard pose. You can walk your right foot out further to the side of your mat, and if you'd like, you can point your right toes out to the side and let your right knee follow as well. Reaching back with your right arm, you can reach for that back left foot, drawing it up, getting a nice stretch there. Come back to lizard, press yourself back up, and this is just a perfect opportunity for Ekapada Vinyasa here. And from there, move into Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, and exhale, downward facing. We'll take that stretch over on the left side. So lift your left leg up, bring it in between your hands, lower to the back right knee. Again, you can keep your hands on the ground or bring them up to rest on top of the left knee. Make sure your left knee is directly over your left ankle. Bring your right hip forward and your left hip back, squaring off the hips. Drop your left hand to the side and bring your right arm overhead, stretching through the psoas muscle on the right side. Breathing here. Come back to center. Bring your hands to the inside of the left foot, moving into lizard. You can lower onto the forearms if you'd like, or an option if you have some blocks near you, you can rest your forearms on a block. Breathing here in lizard, feeling that deep stretch through the right hip flexor. Taking your left hand behind you, grab onto the top of the right foot and stretch a little bit deeper, pulling it in as much as feels good. Sometimes you might need a little extra padding under your knee for this stretch. Now bring your hands back to center. Move into Ekapada Vinyasa. Your left hip resting on the left tricep with Chaturanga arms, and then move into Chaturanga from there. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Rocket incorporates a lot of arm balances and it's super fun. You can always hit pause and try that arm balance again if you'd like. But step your right foot in between your hands and move into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana A. So you have a deep bend in the front leg. Your right knee is over your right ankle and your left foot is flat. Again, you're drawing your left hip forward and your right hip back, squaring off the hips. Move into Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana B. Actively reach through your extended hands. Make sure you're lined up front heel with back arch, and your gaze is directly over your front middle finger. Engage your tricep muscles here. Try to bend a little bit deeper in your knee if you can. Now straighten the legs, shorten your stance if you'd like, and move into Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Your right hand can be wrapped around your toes, on a block, or on your shin, whatever gives you the most length in your spine. You're drawing your lower ribs forward and your top ribs back as though you're pressed against a wall. And you can turn your gaze up towards your top hand if you'd like. Look forward to the ground, plant your right hand about a foot in front of the right foot and lift into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Actively reach through that left leg, pressing out through the heel. You can turn the gaze up if you have a steady balance here. Breathing deep, turn your gaze towards the floor, lower both your hands and move into standing splits. So your left leg is still extended. If you want to, you can grab the right leg with the right arm, bringing your nose to your shin, and gently lower down into revolved Trikonasana, twisted triangle. Your left hand on the outside of the right foot and your right arm extended strongly up. Draw your right hip back, your left hip forward, square off the hips. You want it nice and flat back there on your back so someone could balance a cup of water there, maybe. Breathing here. Every inhale, lengthen your spine. Every exhale, twist a little deeper through the upper spine. Bring your hands down to the mat. Move into side angle, Utthita Parsvakonasana. Again, your feet are lined up, front heel with back arch, with a deep bend in your front right knee. Your right hand's on the outside of your right foot and your left arm is extended up overhead in line with your ear with the pinky facing down so that your shoulder is externally rotated in its socket. Taking the twist here, you can drop onto that back knee and take a twist, or if you want to move into the full posture, then you're going to take your left hand down to the outer edge of the right foot, taking a deep twist and extending your right hand overhead in line with your ear, again with the pinky facing down, thumb upwards. If it's too much to keep that back left foot planted, you can always come up onto your toes. Now we're going to move into Pincha Mayurasana. If you'd like to, just move into Dolphin if Pincha is not in your practice. Otherwise, go ahead and take the forearm balance. Sometimes I like to put a block in between my hands, so it just keeps my hands from moving inward towards each other, helping me keep the correct alignment. You can always move towards a wall if you're practicing this posture. If you're upside down, keep breathing. Actively squeeze your legs towards each other and gently lower down into child's pose for a breath. From child's pose, press back into downward facing dog. And we'll move through that sequence on the left side. Step your left foot in between your hands, right foot flat, moving into Virabhadrasana A, Warrior One. Make sure you have a deep bend in that left leg. Your left hip is drawing back, your right hip pulling forward, squaring off your hips to the front of the mat. Your arms are extended overhead and your gaze is towards your thumbs. Breathing here. Now move into Virabhadrasana B. Switch your feet so that your front heel is lined up with your back arch now. Making sure that knee is still over the ankle. Sink a little bit deeper into that front leg if you can. And reach strongly through both of your arms. Engage those tricep muscles. Engage your core. Straighten the legs. Move into Utthita Trikonasana. Grabbing the big toe, a block, or your shin. And turn your gaze up to your top hand if that feels okay on your neck. Again, draw the bottom ribs forward, the top ribs back, creating lots of length in your spine. Your spine should be parallel to the ground here. Reaching out through the crown of the head. Now putting your left foot about a foot in front of the pinky toe side of your left foot, move into Ardha Chandrasana on the left side. Both legs, every muscle in your legs should be engaged. You should be lifting up through the quads, squeezing the inner thighs, pressing out through the heel. Your left hand's planted down on the ground, flat or place a block underneath it too, if that helps you create length. Lower your hands to the mat, move into standing split. You can keep both hands on the ground or take your left hand to the back of your left shin and bring your nose closer to your leg. Lower that top leg and move into revolved Trikonasana. Right hand on the outside of the left foot. Twisting from the upper spine. Draw the navel in and up. Engage the muscles of the pelvic floor. Your arms should be reaching in a strong line away from each other, just like in Warrior Two. Create length with every inhale. Every exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Look towards the ground, lengthen the stance, and move into Utthita Parsvottanasana side angle pose. You want to create a really long, strong line here from the heel of your right foot all the way through the fingers on your right hand, all the way through your side body. Press that left knee into the left arm and move into the twist, taking the right arm across the left knee. You can keep your hands at your heart and lower on your back knee, or move into the full posture with the right arm extended down to the outside of the left foot and the left arm extending up overhead with the pinky facing down. Breathe here in this deep twist. Make sure you're engaging your inner abdominal muscles. And now it's time for Pincha Mayurasana again. So grab your block if you'd like, or move to the wall. Planting your forearms down about shoulder width apart. Walk your feet up in dolphin, and if you want, lift one leg off the ground. And if you can, lift both legs up, catching the balance. Your gaze should be in between your hands, gazing to the mat. Engage your core, engage your glutes, squeeze your legs together. Breathing deep. Holding here, and if you'd like, you can stay in dolphin the whole time, building the strength. Gently lower down and move into child's pose, Balasana. Come back to your steady breath. Press through your hands, tuck your toes, and press back into downward facing dog. Hop to the top of your mat, come up halfway, and grab your big toes for Padangusthasana. Inhale, create length in your spine, and exhale, fold forward with that long spine. If your hamstrings are tight, definitely keep a little bit of a bend in the knees so that you can have a nice straight lengthened spine. Inhale, come halfway up, and exhale, move into Padahastasana with your palms underneath your feet, your toes gently pressing at the wrist crease. If your legs are straight, you can work on shifting the weight of your feet a little bit more into the toes. Inhale, grab your waist, come halfway up, and stand all the way up to Tadasana, mountain pose. Now, raising your right foot up, grab your big toe or your knee, moving into Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Extend your right leg out. You want your left leg and your spine to be straight as if you were up against a wall. Now, taking your right leg out to the right side, turn your gaze over the left shoulder if you can. Bring it back to center. Now taking this fold forward, bring your nose to your knee, and then we're going to move into the rocket bonus. So you'll take your left leg to the outside of that right foot and twist open to the right side of your mat, taking the right arm behind you. Make sure you have lots of length in your spine, and exhale, release, moving into the left side. So either bring your knee up into your arms or grab your big toe with your left hands and extend that leg out, keeping lots of length in your spine. Find a steady spot to rest your eyes. It'll help you balance. A steady gaze. Now open your left leg out to the side of your mat and turn your gaze over your right shoulder. Make sure you're engaging your belly muscles. You're engaging the muscles of your right leg. Bring that leg back to center and just try to get your knee to your nose gently, and then come back up to standing. Taking your right hand to the outside of the left foot, twist open to the left side of your mat. With your left arm behind you, you can turn your gaze behind you if you're steady. Breathing here and release, bringing your feet down. Taking your left foot behind, step back towards the side of your mat into a wide-legged stance with the outer edges of your feet parallel, moving into Prasarita series. Lower your hands down into a tripod position. Inhale, create length, and exhale, fold all the way forward so your head rests down on the ground. If you'd like to here, you can move into a tripod headstand if that sounds fun to you. Actively pressing down through the hands, lift your feet off the ground and bring them up. And then slowly splitting your legs, lower them back down to the ground, or just stay in Prasarita A. Inhale, press through the hands, come halfway up, grab your waists, and stand all the way up. Open your arms to a T, bring your hands back to your waist, and lower all the way down, keeping your hands on your waists, moving into Prasarita B. So here you want to make sure that you're keeping your shoulders, you're drawing them up away from your ears so there's no tension in your neck. Your shoulder blades should be relaxed, and you're drawing your elbows back, and your fingers are drawing into your abdomen, reminding you to engage that core muscle. Extend your arms back out to a T, interlace your fingers behind you, and move into Prasarita C. So your fingers are extended behind you here, lowering your head down to the ground. This can be a deep shoulder stretch, so just be careful. Every inhale, draw the hands a little bit away from the body, and every exhale, see if you can lower them a little bit deeper. If your head's not touching the ground, I recommend placing a block underneath so that you have that contact on the ground. Inhale, come all the way up. Bring your hands to your waist, and exhale, fold all the way forward into Prasarita D, your first two fingers and thumb wrapped around your big toe. Your big toes, and exhale, fold all the way forward. Make sure you have that opposition between your fingers and your toes here, so you're pressing down through your toes, but you're lifting up through your fingers. Your stomach is drawn strongly in and up, and your pelvic muscles are engaged. Inhale, come halfway up, and then move either into middle splits, straddles if it's in your practice, or lower down onto your knees into Frog, Manthukasana. If you're in Frog, your knees and your ankles should be lined up and your toes should be pointing outwards. You can stay up on your forearms or lower down. If you want to play with the stretch a little bit, you can shift your hips back, see if that feels a little deeper. Just make sure you take deep breaths here. This posture can be uncomfortable for sure. So just listen to your body and make sure you're taking care of it. Press up to your hands. Turn towards the back of your mat with your left leg forward. We're going to move into Hanumanasana splits. You can just take Ardha Hanumanasana half splits, or if you'd like, move into the full posture. You can use a block like I do underneath you if you're not quite all the way down. Create lots of length in your spine, and if you are in full splits, you can raise your arms overhead, taking a few breaths like this. Just be gentle to your body. And go ahead and exhale, fold over that front leg. Make sure you're engaging all the muscles in that front left leg. Your quad should be strongly engaged. Now move over to the right side. Just take your time lowering into this posture. I had a teacher say that no enlightenment comes if you reach the ground in splits. It doesn't matter if you get there or not. It just matters that you're getting a good stretch. So again, I like to flex the front right foot and engage the quad muscles. You can raise the arms overhead if you'd like. And then exhale, fold over that front leg. Make sure you're breathing deeply. Inhale, come back up and gently move out of splits. Coming into a seated pose, we're going to take Navasana, boat pose. So draw your knees into your chest to create length in your spine, sitting up nice and tall. Extend your legs from your knees, and you can either keep your knees bent here with your arms extended, or you can start to straighten out through the legs. Try to keep length in your spine though. Now crossing at your shins, take a lift off. Try to press down through the hands and lift everything up. Now move into boat pose again. It doesn't matter if your knees are bent or straight as long as you keep as much length in the spine as possible. Lifting through the chest. Press through your hands. Lift the bum off the ground. Try to keep it even with the feet. And move back into Navasana, boat pose again. Breathe deeply here. Your legs might be shaking, that's okay. Now cross at your legs, take a lift off, lower back down, move into Navasana again. Breathing here, your core should strongly be engaged. Press your hands down, lift your bum off the ground. Exhale, lower, and move into Navasana. I think this might be the last one. Strongly reach through your hands. If you need to, you can hold on behind your knees. Cross your shins, press through the hands, lift everything up, and move through a vinyasa. Take chaturanga, inhale upward facing, and exhale downward facing. Look forward to the top of your mat and hop all the way through to seated here. We're going to move into Upavishta Konasana. So move to the side of your mat, open up your legs about as wide as the mat, and reach forward, keeping length in the spine. Grab the outer edges of your feet and fold forward. Make sure both of your quads are strongly engaged. Your feet are flexed upwards and you're pressing the legs actively down into the ground. Reach the crown of your head forward, creating lots of length through the spine. Breathe deep in this stretch. Inhale, come halfway up. Now grab your blocks. We're going to take a lift off. If you don't have blocks, that's fine. But take your hands around your right leg and just lift everything off into a wide-legged lift off. If you want, you can move into Ekapada Vinyasa here and then come back through into the wide leg lift off and gently lower down. We're going to take your right arm along the right leg and move into a side stretch with your left arm overhead. Come back to center and take that lift off on the left side. So you can put your blocks or your hands around your left leg and lift up strongly off the ground. If you want to, bring that leg in between your hands, move into Ekapada Vinyasa, and then slowly bring it through and lower all the way to the ground. Moving into that side stretch on the other side now. Come back to your steady breath. Few more breaths. Come back to center. And come back to the top of your mat from here and move through a vinyasa or come straight to down dog. From downward facing dog, look forward and gently hop to the top of your mat. We're going to take Pashasana. So moving into like a chair pose, you're going to take your right arm in front of your left knee and you're going to wrap it over both your knees and try to interlace your hands behind your back. This is a really deep posture, and sometimes your heels might come off the ground, so you can place something underneath it. Turning towards the front of your mat, you can move into side crow from there if you'd like, and then move through your vinyasa, meeting back in a downward facing dog. Coming forward again, we'll take Pashasana on the other side, so this time your left arm will be wrapping around the right leg, trying to bind behind you. You don't want your hips resting on your shins, you want them lifted a bit up so that your quads are strongly engaged. Your goal is to get your heels all the way down, but if they're not, that's fine. Come back to the front of your mat and take side crow on the other side. You can rest your hip and your knee on your chaturanga arms if you'd like, and extend the legs. And if you want to try, you can jump back into chaturanga from there. Move into upward facing dog. Exhale back into downward facing dog. You can press pause and try that transition a few times. It's super fun. Gazing forward, you're going to hop to the top of your mat into seated, taking your right leg bent so that your heel is to the side of you, moving into crown chasana. So your left leg is going to be extended up, your hands wrapped around that foot, and you're just trying to draw it towards you, keeping length in the spine. Inhale, release, and move through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Taking that on the left side, you're going to have your left leg bent. You can sit on a block or a blanket if it's uncomfortable on your left knee. Bringing your right leg up, try to extend it as straight as you can. You can wrap your hands around the right foot and just try to draw your nose to your shin. Inhale, create length, and exhale, release the posture, move through a vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Gazing towards the top of your mat, shift forward into plank. Slowly lower down all the way onto your belly. We're going to take Shalabhasana, locust pose. So pressing the tops of your hands down with your palms facing up, lifting your legs and your chest off the ground, reaching through the crown of your head and reaching through the toes. Now taking your wrists underneath your elbows with chaturanga arms, keeping the legs lift into Shalabhasana B. Now press through your hands into upward facing dog and move back into downward facing dog. Shift forward into plank again, slowly lower down all the way to your belly, moving into Dhanurasana bow pose. Grab the tops of your feet or your ankles, actively lifting up through the chest, lifting your legs off the ground. Pressing the feet into the hands, and we're going to roll over to the right side. So staying in the same position and keeping your head up off the ground, gazing towards the ceiling, you're rolled into a side Dhanurasana. Come back to center, lift back up strongly, and roll over to the left side. So your body's in the same position as it was upright, but your head is gazing upward, not resting on the ground. Roll back to center, lift, hold up. This is where it counts. Hold here, slowly release. Press into upward facing dog and move back into downward facing dog. Look forward and hop onto your knees at the top of your mat. We're going to move into Ustrasana, camel pose. So here, strongly press your hips forward, create length in the spine. You can keep your toes tucked if you'd like, and reach your hands back to your heels, reaching up through your chest, and let your head drop back into camel pose. Try to keep your hips pressing forward, and then all at once, come back up with your head coming up last. Just take a child's pose here if you need to, just to rest your spine. We're going to move into Laghu Vajrasana, which is a deep back bend. So you can stay with Camel, take Camel again, or if you'd like to move into Laghu Vajrasana, I like to stack a block underneath my head because it doesn't reach all the way down yet. You can stack a couple blocks. If you don't need a block, that's great. But you're going to come back up to your knees. Your hands are going to reach down towards your ankles with your fingers on the outside of your leg facing forward, and then you slowly lower your head all the way down to the ground. Really engage your stomach muscles here. This is a really deep bend. And then gently lift yourself back up. Move back into child's pose from here. Move your blocks off the mat if you had them. And jump back into chaturanga. Move through a vinyasa and meet in downward facing dog. From here, you're going to jump forward, bending the right leg back again. We're going to move into Bhara Vajrasana. So if you can, take that left leg into half lotus or just bring it to the inner thigh of the right leg. Wrap the left arm behind, and if you can, grab the toes of the left foot, twisting open to the left side of the mat with your right arm underneath that left knee. This is a really deep twist. Come back to center, unwind, move through a vinyasa, and meet in downward facing dog. We'll take that on the other side. So jump through with the left leg bent behind you. Move into half lotus with the right leg if you can, or just press the right foot into the inside of the left leg. Wrap that right arm behind you and either hold on to your hip or try to grab that right foot, taking the left hand, twisting across underneath the right knee. Try to turn your gaze over your right shoulder, keeping length in the spine. Every inhale, lengthen. Every exhale, twist deeper. Turn your gaze forward, gently unwind. Move through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up, bring it through in between your hands, moving into pigeon pose. Ekapada Kapotasana. Gently lower down into this pigeon pose, but make sure that your left leg is straight behind you and that your hips are pretty squared off to the front of the mat. So you may need to draw the right hip back a little bit. The more parallel your right leg is to the top of the mat, the deeper the stretch will be. Just be careful with your knee here. If you want to, you can bring that left leg up and take a quad stretch here. I like to flip the grip here and then press my foot down towards my glute, turning my chest towards the front of the mat. You can move into mermaid arms here if you like, hooking your left elbow on the left leg with your right arm overhead, clasping hands. Now swing that left leg forward on top of your right leg, moving into Ardha Matsyendrasana, twisting here. So in the full posture, your right arm is extended straight, hooking onto the foot, and your left arm is behind you, hooking onto the hip. Looking forward, stacking the hips on top of each other, move into Gomukhasana, cow face pose. I like to flex my feet to neutralize the knee joint, just to protect them a bit. If you like, you can place a block underneath your forehead too and fold forward. Otherwise, just stay seated up, whatever feels good in your hips. Breathing deep in this stretch. Inhale, come all the way back up. Uncross your legs, taking the left leg towards the top of the mat, moving into pigeon on the other side now. So your right leg is extended behind you, your left leg is bent. Make sure that right leg is straight behind you, and just make sure everything's still active here. Even though you're stretching and it feels like you're relaxing, you still want your leg muscles engaged, your core engaged. You can even flex that left foot to protect the knee. Just be very careful with your left knee in this posture. If you'd like to, you can lift up the back right leg, grabbing it with the right hand and stretching through the quad muscle. If you want to flip your grip, you just turn your fingers underneath to the bottom of your foot so that you can turn your chest forward to the front of your mat and press the foot down even closer to your glutes. If you want to move into mermaid arms, feel free to on this side, or if you want to take full king pigeon, if that's in your practice, feel free. Just do whatever you did on the other side. Release that right leg and swing it forward on top of the left leg. Draw that right leg into the chest, twist over to the right, taking that left arm extended down along the leg, grabbing onto the arch of the right foot, and your right arm is back behind you, grabbing onto the left hip. Turn your gaze over the right shoulder. Look forward and move into Gomukhasana with the opposite leg, so your right knee is stacked on top of the left knee. Sit up nice and tall, and if you want to, feel free to fold forward here, keeping a gentle flex in both the feet. Draw your navel in and up. In this forward fold, protect your lower back. A couple more deep breaths here. Lift your head up. Release your legs and move through a vinyasa or meet back into a downward facing dog, skipping the vinyasa. Look forward to the top of your mat, jump through to seated, and lie all the way down on your back, moving into bridge pose. So bring your heels up towards your glutes. You want your feet about hip distance apart, the outer edges of your feet parallel. Strongly pressing down through the feet, lifting your hips up off the ground. Keep your chin away from your chest. You can press your hands onto the mat. Strongly lift the hips up and gently lower them back down. Take bridge again or move into Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow pose. If you're in upward facing bow, really strongly lift the hips up, press down through the feet. Gently lower your head down and take Urdhva Dhanurasana again, or take bridge pose again. Press through the arms, try to lift your chest back towards the wall behind you. Gently lower down onto the crown of your head. Lift back up into Urdhva Dhanurasana again. If your lower back hurts at all, you can place blocks underneath your feet to help give your spine some extra length. Slowly and gently lower down, being careful of your neck. You can bring your knees into your chest, slowly rock side to side, massaging the lower spine, releasing any tension there. From here, if Chakrasana is in your practice, move through the backward somersault or just roll forward and take your vinyasa, move through chaturanga, and meet in downward facing dog. Gaze towards the front of your mat. We're going to take Paschimottanasana, forward fold here. So take a really gentle forward fold. You can keep your knees bent. you're just taking the counter pose from upward facing bow, bringing your spine back to a neutral position. And then when you're ready, you can take a vinyasa or just lie straight back down onto your back. Now we're going to move into Salamba Sarvangasana shoulder stand. I don't recommend this posture for everyone. If you have any issues with your neck, don't take this today. Just take your legs up the wall or place a block underneath your hips and extend your legs upward. Otherwise, if you're moving into shoulder stand, you want your whole hand to be pressing on your lower back, and you're lifting your legs straight up, really engaging your legs here, actively lifting them up, keeping the chin away from the chest, and your gaze should be up towards your toes. Make sure you don't turn your head while you're in this pose. Just be very, very careful with your neck. Slowly lower your legs all the way down behind you into Halasana. Bringing your hands down to the mat. You can interlace them behind you if your shoulders allow it. Lifting the quads up away from the face actively, pressing through the toes. Deep breaths, abdomen in and up. Now lower your knees around your ears. Gently press your knees against your ears. Breathing deep here in Karna Pindasana. When you're ready, you can bring your hands back to your lower spine and begin to lift the legs all the way up, using all that core strength to lift your legs back straight up into shoulder stand. And now we'll just gently lower down one vertebrae at a time, all the way back down. Bring your feet together into Supta Baddha Konasana and move into Matsyasana fish pose. So your forearms are pressing down, your hands can be holding your hips, and you're on the crown of your head, really reaching the chest up, actively lifting. This is the counter pose, releasing the neck, neutralizing the spine. If you want to, you can straighten the legs and the arms into a 45-degree angle for Uttana Padasana, still on the crown of the head, or just stay in Matsyasana. Gently lower all the way down to your back. And again, you can take Chakrasana here, or just move through a vinyasa and meet back in a downward facing dog. Gently lower to your knees. We're going to take Shirsasana headstand here. So you move up next to a wall, or again, you can just work on Shirsasana here without your feet ever leaving the ground. So you want your elbows about shoulder distance apart, your fingers interlaced behind your head. Begin to walk your feet up, keeping the hips high, and you can stay here the whole time or lift your feet off the ground. Squeeze your legs together, reach through your toes. You only want a little bit of weight in your head, so you're really, really pressing down through your forearms. It's more like a forearm stand than a headstand. The name's a little misleading because you really don't want much weight in your head. You want to be pressing hard, so hard into your forearms that someone could come by and slip a piece of paper underneath your head and the mat. But just breathe here. If you want to, you can lower your legs halfway down, drawing your stomach in strongly into Ardha Shirsasana, pressing out through the heels. Your legs are engaged strongly. Hold a couple more breaths. Bring your legs all the way back up into Shirsasana, straight legs. And then slowly lower your legs back down to the mat, as slow as you can. Coming into a child's pose, Balasana. I like to bring my hands back behind me, holding onto my feet, and gently pressing my forehead into the mat helps release any tension that might be in my neck. Come back to your steady breath. Now, either press straight back into down dog or move through a vinyasa. It's your choice. If you're moving through the vinyasa, meet back in downward dog. Gaze forward to the top of your mat, jump through to a seated position. Now here, if you can move into full lotus, do so. Otherwise, take half lotus or just have your feet crossed in front of you. If you're in full lotus, you're going to reach your arms behind you and grab opposite feet and then fold forward into Baddha Padmasana. Otherwise, just wrap your arms behind you, grabbing opposite elbows, and gently lower your head down. Lift back up. And we're going to take Utplutihi, lifting your hips off the ground, still in lotus if you can. Otherwise, just lift everything off. Press, keep your head up, gazing up. If your head's down, it makes it heavier, and gently lower down. You can move through another vinyasa, your final vinyasa if you'd like, or just lie all the way down onto your back. If you move through the vinyasa and you're in downward facing dog, gaze forward, jump through, and lie all the way down into Savasana, our final resting pose. A well-deserved Savasana here. So just let go of the practice now. Let go of your Ujjayi pranayama. Release any tension in your face, in your jaw, in your shoulders, and just let your body sink into the mat. bring your breath back to your body. Create gentle movements, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Do some circles with your ankles. Draw your arms overhead, take a stretch. Do whatever feels good to wake up your body here. You can draw your knees into your chest. Rock a little side to side. And gently roll off to the side of your mat into a fetal position. Slowly and gently press yourself up to a seated position. Meet at the top of your mat in a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands back to your heart, palms pressing together. Thank you so much for joining me today and practicing with me. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Make sure you head over to Yoga Dose and check out my total body workout to challenge your strength and balance. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and I look forward to having you practice with me again on the Yoga Dose channel.